Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. First of all, we tell you about the ongoing one-day championship that is underway. Of course, it's been spectacular on day one, and now we move on to day two. Of course, Stallions are in action, and they were, with a pretty decent runs at the moment. So it's an interesting encounter that we see this game as well and discuss it in detail. So we'll give you all the visiting South African team as well. The South Africa women's team has arrived in Pakistan. They landed, of course, at the Lama Iqbal International Airport rather, in Lahore, of course, and their matches are going to be played at the Multan Stadium, and it's great to watch that. Of course, you talk about a T20 series right before the T20 International World Cup. 3 T20 internationals would be played. This is their second tour to Pakistan. Of course, they were here quite some while ago as well when we got a chance to interview the South African women players, and we had a lot of insight into their careers and performances as well. So being led by Laura Wolvaert, they're participating in this 3-match T20 international series that would be played in Multan. So we talk about that in detail. Then, of course, something very particular has reached us and the world as well. It's about the Scotland Cricket Board, where the Scottish Cricket Board is investigating matters regarding its director of misconduct, and these are very serious allegations. Of course, they believe in inclusivity. They have not given much details right now, but this, of course, dates back to quite some time when a particular comment was made on social media. So just imagine the level of accountability of your past actions that now have reached the Scottish board, and they're now investigating, of course, an organization or a part of the Scottish Cricket Board that was part of creating inclusivity and making sure that they root out racism. No such things happen, has of course reported this, and now these allegations are being probed as well. I had a chance to talk to two players who are part of the Scottish national team on the basis of an anonymity, and I'm of course not going to name them, but they said they also belong to, of course, different origins apart from Scotland, but they're based in Scotland. Of course, they're Scottish nationals as well, but they said that they didn't face anything like this. They have been very well catered for, and they've enjoyed a very good atmosphere, but this is unfortunate if such a conduct has raised our eyebrows as well. So we talk about that. Then we move on to the Davis Cup tennis tournament and give you all the details about the next part of the tournament as well. They've got certain countries participating. Italy is also going to participate, the defending champions. So we talk about the Davis Cup in detail as well. That's what we're talking about on the show. First of all, let me introduce our guest. Joining us in studios, first of all, is cricket commentator. He's a broadcaster, presenter, of course, on the global stage as well, and our sports expert, Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, very well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We've also been joined by first-class cricketer and cricket expert, Kashif Majid. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you, Kashif?
I'm fine, thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you for joining us as well. Now, of course, before we continue, let's take a look at this report regarding the One Day Cup.
To wander, but this is a time of celebrations for UMT Markhors. Points, not just collecting for victory.
Markhors beat Panthers by 160 runs in the opening match of Champions One Day Cup cricket tournament at Iqbal Stadium, Faisalabad. Earlier, Panthers captain Shadab Khan won the toss and put Markhor into bat first. Markhor scored 347 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in allotted 50 overs. Kamran Ghulam played a brilliant knock and remained top scorer with 115 runs. He smashed 12 fours and 3 maximums in his innings.
Pushing his case and putting the ball away in style, just the one bounce. That's a gift. Kamran Ghulam accepts it gleefully.
Abdul Samad hit quick fire 62 off just 25 balls. His innings laced with 6 sixes and 4
fours. He tried to take the pace
fours.
off, but he's got too much power. Oh, he's opened the face, sliced it, and that's gone.
Iftikhar Ahmed made unbeaten 57 runs, while captain Mohammad Rizwan made 45 runs.
And more. A maximum.
For Panthers, Mohammad Hassan and Mubassir Khan took 2 wickets each.
And he doesn't need to. The wicket has fallen anyway.
In reply, Panthers were bowled out for 187 runs in 35 overs.
From Rizwan to send Mubassir. Osama with a couple of lusty blows. Bowls out.
Chasing a daunting target, Panthers lost 6 wickets for just 52 runs.
Direct it!
Ahmad Butt remained top scorer with 72 runs, while Mubassir Khan added 33 runs.
Naseem Shah space will go into 5.
Osama Mir chipped in with 21 runs.
First slip. Iftikhar there.
For Markhors, the
Down. It's Saim Ayub this time. Ball straight to the man. It's off Samad again. Naseem Shah gets his man.
while Shahnawaz Dhani took 2 wickets.
Rizwan has called for it and he takes the game. The Panthers and the Hanis off once again.
Kamran Ghulam declared player of the match.
Live on PTV Sports. So of course we'll be discussing this game, but let's just take a recap of last night's game as well. Kashif, what would you like to tell us? I mean, it was a beautiful sight, first of all, to see the Faisalabad crowd and, you know, all those past colours that we used to remember growing up back in the stadium once again.
Starting from Dennis Lilly, I guess, when we talk about those Faisalabad pitches, the way they have behaved, it's still the same. The batsmen enjoying their batsmanship out there and they're scoring bulk of the runs, apart from the second team who's batted second. But when we talk about Rizwan's team and we talk about the performances of Kamran Ghulam, then Abdul Samad catch the eye of so many people. He scored all around the wicket. So most probably it's a good match. It's a good start up to this tournament. The most important thing for Ahmed for me is not a single star is missing from the Pakistani domestic cricket or international team. So everyone is playing. So whoever score runs or whoever take wickets means that he is fit to play for the national side. This is it's very important because now
Right, we're going to come to that, Kashif, but right after a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. So we continue where we left off. Kashif, you were of course talking about some of the notable performances that we've seen as well.
Yeah, we're talking about Kamran Ghulam's century. We do talk about Abdul Samad's performance in the later orders. Iftikhar scored runs, Rizwan scored runs, Naseem Shah, Shahnawaz Dhani. It's all a one-sided affair, but still we do find some quality innings performed and quality bowling out there. And yes, the fielding standards were good. Catches taken by Samad, the run out by the Samad, and the slip fielding. I think the yesterday's match, when we talk about it, always tells one side of the story. But again, Rizwan's captaincy was eye-pleasing. The way he attacked the opposition with 2 slips or 3 slips, the way he counter-attacked Usman. He knows his weaknesses of the short pitch deliveries, and he wanted him early, and he got him early on the short pitch stuff. So most probably, it's a case for Rizwan to showcase his talent with his captaincy, and most probably this is the right platform for him.
Well, certainly, I think it raises a lot of eyebrows as well when you talk about the next captain for Pakistan. There are a couple of people in contention, but obviously we're not talking about that. That's not on the subject today. But Asif, how would you like to define last night's game between the Panthers? And of course, I think it was brilliant that we saw that the Markhors, I think, completely outclassed them. 160 runs is a huge margin of victory.
Ahmed, even if it's not in your list, but I will talk about the captaincy.
Oh yes, of course. This is how it happens.
Well, actually, you know that...
This is how I wanted it to happen.
So it's not a question, it's a small hint.
Yes.
All right, guys, see why I would like to talk about it, because the news coming that some people, as Ahmed mentioning, that they were taking name of Rizwan as skipper for all the formats. And when you see his performances against Bangladesh, though Pakistan couldn't win, but he performed so well. And when we talk about the captaincy, you require skills taking some bold decisions. And yes, last night we have witnessed those decisions against opposition. He didn't allow opposition to take charge against their fast bowlers. And when they were on the batting, I think that was a very poor decision from Shadab Khan. After winning the toss, they decided to bowl first. And I think then the Kamran Ghulam, he is such in stunning form. And one thing which I really like, and you know, that the way he was just playing towards long on, long off, long innings. And then, you know, he accelerated on the perfect time whenever he He has taken some chances, some loose deliveries. He converted them into the maximum and the boundaries. This is an art of ODI cricket. This is an art of longer format cricket, that if you are okay with your technique and you understand that what we is, then I think that you could play anywhere. I always take name of Michael Bevan, why he was so strong, why he was match winner, why he was finisher, because he's such a strong man towards long off, long on, and I have
Definitely.
spoken to.
I'm going to come back to that as well in detail, but of course, as we just told you, that the South African women's team has also arrived in Pakistan to play 3 T20 internationals. We will of course have a report on that as well. You just take a look at that report and then we come back. Of course, but right after this short break, stay tuned. Welcome back, and now let's take a look at this report, of course, that details the South African women's team visit to Pakistan. It's been a lot said by the cricket board as well about increasing the frequency of T20 international cricket and one international cricket for the women's team. But practical implementations are when you've got a South African team visiting and you're playing them right before the World Cup. It certainly is going to set the bar very high. Last time they were here, we had a very competitive series, and of course they're well prepared than us. Then it gives us an opportunity. Let's take a look at this report.
The South Africa women's cricket team, led by captain Laura Woolward, has arrived at the Allama Iqbal International Airport in Lahore on their tour of Pakistan. South Africa women's team will depart from Lahore by chartered flight to Multan. They are to play the 3-match T20 series against Pakistan, which is set to take place next week. Before the training session on September 5th, team captains Laura of South Africa and Fatima from Pakistan will hold a pre-series media conference and display the trophy after the media interaction.
There you have it, all you need to know about the visiting South African women's team in this report by Malika, of course. And like I said, that it's a great series to look forward to. And of course, that being said, I think it comes at a very important time as well. Also, we got to update you on the Cricket Scotland issue as well. Of course, this is very serious that one of their directors is now under investigation after criticism was raised over a previous social media post. And of course, there is no room, I think, when it comes to racism, when it comes to personal targeting, ethnic, something that has been involved with ethnic identities. There is no room in cricket for it, and certainly no room in the Scotland Cricket Board as well. Let's take a look at this very important report that tells us more.
Cricket Scotland is looking into a director based on some information they received, but they haven't shared the director's name yet. The Cricket Scotland board is really focused on stopping all kinds of unfair treatment and making sure that cricket is a safe, friendly and inclusive sport for everyone. They are very determined to have a strong stance against racism and any behavior that is not acceptable. Since this is an ongoing investigation involving serious matters, they have decided not to say more about it right now. Running Out Racism, an organisation working to eliminate racism in Scottish cricket, has urged Cricket Scotland to check past social media posts of one of its board's members, after a report in 2022 revealed many instances of institutional racism. Cricket Scotland has been making significant changes in how it is managed.
There you have it. Malika tells us the incident regarding Cricket Scotland, and I'm sure it's going to be investigated in a very professional manner and an impartial investigation. Although, like I just highlighted, I talked to 2 Scottish national players, and both of them said that they're very comfortable. They've been treated very fairly. So obviously this is, I think, an isolated incident that needs to be investigated, and certain grounds need to be, protective measures need to be set as well. But even investigating a past something speaks volumes of the structure and system that they have. Now we come back to the One Day Cup as well. Like I said, that the line,
and that's why he's there. So when we talk about earlier I was talking to Kashif that this is a very good platform now and a very good chance for the youngsters like Tayyib Tahir and some other players like Kamran Ghulam scoring. Samad scored a stunning 65 last night with 6 maximum. So I think good chance for the youngsters to showcase their talent.
Absolutely. Kashif, what would you like to highlight, not just for the youngsters, but for certain people who are under pressure? This is a great opportunity at the moment.
So for me as a cricketer, I think if Babar Azam is scoring runs against a certain bowling lineup, so does Tayyib Tahir. If Rizwan is scoring some runs against a certain bowling lineup, so does Abdul Samad. That shows that we have got a quality domestic structure. If not structure, then the quality domestic players. So this is where it's important, because this is the cream of the Pakistan team, and this tournament and the performances by every player goes the long way.
Absolutely, it does. And of course, thank you very much, Asif and Kashif Majid, for joining us. Now we move on to tennis, and we've got to talk about the Davis Cup tournament as well. Now, of course, there's a lot to look up to as well as far as the Davis Cup is concerned. And like we just told you as well earlier on, that a lot of these nations are participating once again, and there's a lot to talk about that. And then, of course, we talk about the current champions who are also participating. So it, of course, is going to be a great omen once again for all the nations who are participating. To discuss this further in studios, we've been joined by sports expert Ali Mehdi. Assalamu alaikum, Ali. How are you?
Welcome, Sam. I'm very well, thank you.
Ali, what would you like to highlight? Once again, Davis Cup returns, and I think in spectacular fashion. Of course, there's a lot to play for all of these nations, and some fierce competitions are expected up ahead.
Yeah, fierce competitions, and as we know that for the past few years there's been actually a change in Davis Cup format. You used to have the Davis Cup final between two teams, but now it's changed. Actually, you have 4 groups, out of which the 4 groups, 2 of the top teams from each of the groups will go into that quarterfinals, and then go into Davis Cup weekend, which actually takes place at the end of November in Valencia, and that actually comes at the end of the ATP World Tour final series, which happens in Italy. This year it's going to be happening, the Davis Cup finals is going to be happening in Valencia, and you have some big teams actually competing in this. The 4 groups over there, defending champions Italy, who can forget last year Jannik Sinner, the world #1. Back then he wasn't world #1, he actually helped his country win. And then you have the other favorites too, in the form of Holland there, Australia over there too. And you've got some Great Britain over there too, the USA, and Canada, another team which has Felix Auger-Aliassime, is over there too. So I think over here, for that matter, that this format is very exciting, and this weekend, which is Davis Cup weekend, which is taking place right now, you're going to see some exciting and big teams actually making it to Davis Cup finals.
Well, they call it the World Cup of tennis, and for a reason as well. So that inclusivity, Ali Mehdi, is very important. That although it becomes sort of an individual sport, but once you move it onto the team structure, there is even more importance and more interest taken into this tournament.
There's a lot of interest taken in it, because look, this is the oldest team game in tennis, and it's been going on for the past 100 years now. I think 1930s, 1920s was when it actually began, and ever since then, what has happened is that you've had various formats. A few years ago, this is a format which all the legends have actually won. Rafael Nadal for Spain has won. Who can forget when there's Roger Federer, only one big country tournaments he didn't win, won it for Switzerland in 2014, and then obviously this Andy Murray won it for Great Britain too. So I mean, many big teams have actually.
Well, we're rooting for Pakistan, aren't we? They're also playing, I think, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. So what are the updates there?
The updates for that is that as we know, Asamul Haq Qureshi is not playing. He has a herniated disc. They are actually playing in Barbados over there, and that's a very important fixture too. Pakistan will be trying to actually do well after this. It's a very important one for them. If they want to qualify for the next group stage, and for the World Group too. So I think that Pakistan really need to. Akil Khan is over there too. Hamid,
the veteran.
The veteran is over there too. He'll be carrying the torch over there for Pakistan, and the youngsters too. I think Pakistan should do well with the experience over there against a Barbados team. I think Pakistan should prevail.
Certainly, that's what we hope for. Ali Mehdi, thank you very much for joining us and giving us the latest updates on the Davis Cup. We wrap it at that. From me and the entire team of Sports Extra, it's goodbye for now.